Good morning, everybody. Sergio here. I hope you are having a great day. Last week, we were talking about pre-construction and just some of the things you need to look out for when you are buying a pre-construction project. So today, we're going to continue on that note. And I think where I left off last week, we were talking a little bit about values of condos and what can happen in the future. So when you buy a pre-construction project now, you are actually paying for projected value in the future. So as an example, if you're going to be purchasing a pre-construction project now and it's $1,500 a square foot, that's what the builder is projecting that unit will be worth in, let's say, 4 years or 5 years down the road. Because the reality is you can probably buy an existing building right next door for much less than $1,500 a square foot. And that's consistent throughout the entire GTA. So I want to throw something out there that you need to think about, because as we know, the market has been on such this huge momentous rise over the last few years. And things can change very quickly, and we can already start to see that things are changing a little bit in the market. So let's say you bought a project for $1,500 a square foot, but when that project is ready to be occupied in 5 years from now, let's pretend that they're not worth, quote unquote, at that particular time, $1,500 a square foot. Let's say they're only worth $1,400 or $1,300 or even less than that, $1,200 a square foot. That is something that you need to think about when you are buying a project now, because anything can happen in the future. So kind of going along that same lines, another thing I want you to think about is interest rates. So we see where interest rates are heading. Nobody has a crystal ball. But when you're buying a project and it's going to be completed in 5 years' time and you're going to be getting a mortgage 5 years from now, we don't know what those rates are going to be. But, not that long ago, you could get a 5-year rate for less than 2%. But in 5 years' time, let's say that rate is now 6%. Is it possible? Maybe, I don't know. But could you afford that condo now in 5 years' time if the rate was 6%? So once again, some food for thought. Here are some other things, and these things are more on completion of the project. So when that project is ready to be occupied, okay, so the builder will say the building is ready, Sergio, you can now live in your unit. But that condo unit is not registered yet. So what happens is you start paying an occupancy fee to the builder. You're essentially paying rent until that condo is registered, okay? And that could take maybe upwards of a year. So let's say the builder says you can occupy your unit now, but you need to pay the builder now $2,000 a month, quote unquote, in rent, and the building doesn't register for a year. That's $24,000 that you have paid extra essentially for the unit. That does not go towards principal. It doesn't go towards a mortgage payment, doesn't go towards anything. It's essentially money that has, essentially been added on or tacked on to the price of the unit. Now, a lot of people will say, well, look, I'm going to rent my unit. But a lot of builders won't allow you to rent during the occupancy stage. So you may be stuck with that additional cost on occupancy when the occupancy is ready for that particular building. Now, also on top of that, when the building does register and you need to pay all your additional costs, there are levies and so on that are tacked on at the very end of the transaction that can add up to thousands and thousands of dollars. So you will be paying something, there's no doubt about that. And through experience, you should be looking at setting aside at least an additional $15,000 to $20,000 for those extra costs that you definitely will be there on closing. So there are a lot of factors that you need to think about when you are buying a pre-construction project. If you have any questions and you want more info, give me a shout, 647-300-3800. You have yourself an amazing day. Take care.